What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Jigsaw Files, your home for all things Saw. So if you're a diehard Saw fan, this is the place for you. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Saw 11, which is coming out later this year, and we don't really have too many details right now, but we do know a little bit, and that's what we're going to go over today. So if you guys didn't know, Saw 11 is set to come out September 27th of this year, so the ball's going to start getting rolling on that very, very soon. We're going to start getting more announcements. We're going to hear a little bit more news about what Saw 11 is going to be or be about. That's going to be coming within the coming months. I imagine we're going to get some casting announcements very soon. I imagine we're going to get some writers announcements very soon. But we do have some things that we do know already. And it wasn't too long ago when longtime Saw producers over at Twisted Pictures, Mark Berg and Oren Cools, was doing an interview and talking about how John and Amanda are still in a foreign country and Cecilia is still alive, but they didn't really say much beyond that. But what that tells me is that we're going to be picking up pretty much right where Saw X ended. John and Amanda still in Mexico, Cecilia still alive. I personally hope the whole movie doesn't take place in Mexico. It was a good setting for Saw X, but now I'm just ready to move on from the Mexico story. Again, we don't know how long they're going to be in Mexico. We don't know if the whole movie's going to be there again, if it's just going to be like the first act of the movie. We have no idea. We can only speculate right now. And my hope is that, you know, we start off in Mexico. Maybe Amanda goes and finishes Cecilia off. Maybe Hoffman goes and finishes Cecilia off, which we're going to get to in a minute. You know, who's to say what's going to happen? Maybe we're going to see John and Amanda take Carlos home and explain to Carlos's dad why Carlos is covered in blood. I don't know. But so yeah, it seems pretty clear that at least we're starting off in Mexico. Whether we go back home throughout this movie, I don't know. We'll have to see. And no surprise here, but it is now official. Kevin Greuter is coming back to direct Saw 11. I mean, again, I'm not surprised because Saw X was such a huge success for them. Kevin is a fan favorite in the Saw community. We all love Kevin. I had the pleasure of sitting down and talking with Kevin leading up to the release of Saw X. That interview is on the channel. Go ahead and check that out. Great guy, love him. But yeah, it's no surprise that he would be back. If there's anybody that knows Saw better than anyone, it's Kevin. I mean, the guy's been around for every single Saw film. He's seen frames and scenes that we've never seen, not even on deleted scenes or anything like that. I do think that he is the right guy to helm this project. He did a great job on Saw X. Saw 6 is a fan favorite as well. So yeah, I couldn't be happier, but again, no surprise, but it is nice to get the official confirmation. What is also official is Pete Goldfinger and Josh Stolberg, the duo who wrote the last 3 Saw films, Jigsaw, Spiral, and Saw X, will not be returning to write Saw 11. Now, they haven't announced who's writing this one yet. I mean, obviously the script is done. They're getting ready to shoot here soon, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, so we don't know who's writing right now. I got a pretty good idea, you know, just from what I've heard and like the whispers and the rumors that I've been hearing from some very reliable sources. You know, we all kind of seem to be on the same page in terms of who's writing, but there hasn't been an official confirmation yet. But the rumor is that Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, who wrote Saw 4, Saw 5, Saw 6, and Saw 3D, is returning to write. But again, not official confirmation, just kind of what I've been hearing and what's kind of been going around. So we're going to have to find out on that one. Speaking of, also what I've heard is that the movie's going to start shooting in March, which is very, very soon, which means the script is done. It's been out there for a while. I'm sure they've got their cast locked in. They just haven't announced that stuff yet, but I would imagine that because they're getting ready to start shooting in March, we're going to start hearing more announcements and more casting news and stuff like that very soon. And once again, no surprise here, but Costas Mandylor. Oh, that I love Costas, man. Costas went on his social media, particularly on Instagram, posted this picture of him and Tobin Bell from Saw 5 with the caption, King Tobin and Apprentice Saw coming. Yes, Costas' English isn't the best when it comes to social media, but I still love that guy no matter what. I will watch anything that guy does on social media. But yes, this does seem to confirm that Hoffman is going to be returning for Saw 11. I mean, if you saw that post-credit scene, that was pretty much confirmation right there. I mean, you don't throw Hoffman in a post-credit scene like that to not bring him back in the next movie.
I call that epic bad luck.
So that was kind of confirmation, but if that didn't confirm it for you, it seems like this does. And he also seemed to confirm that Tobin will be back. Are we surprised? No, but again, it's good to hear the official confirmation. Although I don't know if Casas was supposed to say anything. That's the thing. And we've kind of been hearing that this is going to be a more Hoffman-focused movie. But according to Casas Mandalore, this is going to be an apprentice Saw, which is what I have been begging for. We got one scene in Saw 6 with the three of them together, John, Amanda, Hoffman. We got to see a little bit of that sibling rivalry. We know that there is a hatred between Hoffman and Amanda. I would really love to see that explored because I think that could be one of the strongest aspects of the Saw franchise if we got to dive into that more. And because Kevin directed Saw 6, you know, that the movie that has that scene with all three of them together, we're bringing everybody back in Saw X, moving into Saw 11. I hope this is good news. I hope this is good news that we're going to dive into what it means to be an apprentice. We're going to show that sibling rivalry, why they hate each other, where kind of like the blackmailing of Hoffman towards Amanda started, you know, when he started to come up with his master plan to be the last one standing. Show them learning how to build traps since neither Hoffman or Amanda are engineers, but yet can build traps because they've been working with Jigsaw. Like, show what it means to be an apprentice, all of that. That's what I want to see. And speaking of, there's no official confirmation yet, but I think it's safe to say that Shawnee Smith will probably return as Amanda. Again, no confirmation yet, so they could come out tomorrow and say that Amanda won't be returning. I'll actually be shocked if Amanda's not coming back, but yeah, no, I think it's safe to assume that. And the question remains, where is this going to be as accessible to the general audience as Saw X was? Or now that we've gotten everybody back on board, is Saw 11 going to be filled with a little bit more fan service, you know? And if we are going to have a more fan service Saw movie, there is one character in particular. There are many characters that you could bring back at this point in time who are still alive. I've heard that they've actually heard from a lot of the previous Saw actors wanting to return. They haven't said who, but whether that happens or not, we're going to have to find out. But there is one particular character that I have been petitioning to the powers that be to bring back, and that is... Scary! Please bring Dina Meyer back as Detective Carey. It makes sense timeline-wise. She would be like the lead detective on the Jigsaw case right now. Dina Meyer was so great as Carey in those first three films. It's been a while since we've seen her. I think there's some more story that you could tell with her character. How does she react to Tap no longer being with us anymore? Kind of what is her status with Eric Matthews at this point in time during the events of Saw X, Saw 11? You know, like that stuff would be really cool to explore, and I did put out a post about this, to which Dina Meyer then shared, so it looks like she's game to come back, so please bring her back. So yeah, if Carrie appears in Saw 11, I just want to say you're welcome. But in that same interview with Mark Bergen and Ron Cools, where they were talking about how John and Amanda are still in a foreign country and Cecilia is still alive, they were also asked about the possibility of a sequel to Spiral, which I know not everybody loved. I'm a fan of Spiral. I enjoyed the film. I would very much like to see a follow-up, to see that story continue. I do think that stuff should be separate from, you know, the John, Hoffman, Amanda storylines, of course. Keep that separate, but I do think that there is a place for a Spiral sequel. They were asking the possibility of that, and their response to that was, maybe one day we'll come back to doing a sequel. Chris Rock would love to do one, but our focus, because of the success of Saw X, is Saw 11. And then that makes sense. You know, Saw X was a huge success for them. Jigsaw from 2017 and Spiral didn't really do the best for them critically, financially. So obviously Saw X, it does make sense to strike while the iron's hot and while everyone's game to do this, because let's be honest. I mean, no one's getting any younger, and I don't mean that as a bad way. We all age. Age happens to all of us. So it's good to strike while the iron's hot, while everyone is still down to do it and very enthusiastic about doing it. So while you have Tobin and Shawnee and Costas and whoever else they may be bringing back down to come back, I say do it. Go for that right now. We can always revisit Spiral later, which I still hope we do. But if you were to ask me as a fan, hey, you could either have another Saw movie with the main trio, or you can have a Spiral follow-up, I'm gonna always pick the one with the main trio first, but I am still interested in seeing a follow-up to Spiral one day, because I think there's some very interesting places that you could take those characters in that storyline. We got some stuff that's kind of going around in the rumor mill. We got some stuff that's been officially confirmed. We got very little confirmed right now, but as I said earlier, because they start shooting in March, I expect more announcements of like casting and what the plot is and stuff like that within the coming months. So yeah, guys, how are you guys feeling about Saw 11? Are you excited? Like I said, if you guys are new here and you guys are giant Saw fans, that's what this channel is all about. An entire YouTube channel that's dedicated to nothing but Saw. So be sure to go over, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, as that helps push things along in the algorithm, and hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date with anything and everything that we do here over on the Jigsaw Files, including the latest Saw 11 updates. And that's all I can say for today, guys, so until next time, game over.